Hello and welcome back to more Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Where in the last episode, we started up the second case of the game, which is Turnabout Airlines, and today we will be continuing that. March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. We have landed because the captain apparently shut down the investigation. So now here we are, and let's see what happens from here. I knew that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Mr. Naro and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Mr. Nero in private. So I'm left wondering what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. Who? Von Karma! Franziska von Karma! Franziska? I thought you were still in Germany.
I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught.
Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are.
Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest.
What?
It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. But I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal.
Did you forget that your father is kind of, a mad murderer?
Will become a criminal. Have you no shame?
Did you? What? Wait, it is all but a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim.
A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death.
No. Wait. We have unfalsifiable evidence that's not the case. I understand you kind of missed the first part of this investigation, but still. Franziska, do you honestly believe that I killed the man?
I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then.
But that's as it should be.
Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from all you people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is what I strive for.
Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together?
I have to get going. The crime scene waits. Don't you dare leave town.
I promise you, I wasn't planning on it. Trust me, I had no intention to. Oh, the Gumshoe's here? Yes, sir! Gumshoe!
Too slow.
No!
Listen up, I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand?
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him?
A simple yes or no, detective.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. He did the little Maggie salute. That's nice.
Miles Edgeworth, if you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Now then, if you'll excuse me.
I love how they animated everyone's little, character quirks in the sprite form. For instance, a little bow, Gumshoe's just existence. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit I'm a bit curious as to what Franziska is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. There's the good old Gumshoe music. Okay, let's talk to Gumshoe. Can we talk to Gumshoe? There we go. Talk. Initial investigation. So how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Franziska. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was, a little too quick, sir. Oh? How so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here, barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something, and I'd come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Okay, well, I'm sure we're gonna get to find out what that backstory is. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details. It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Yes, that is true. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. I'm almost 100%, no, scratch that. I'm 100% positive that it is. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. So, can we go back onto the plane? Can we, do I tap, no, okay, can we, oh, I had to approach the desk, okay, interesting. March 12th, 1:37 p.m., flight I-390, second floor, first class. I'm assuming that's the pilot right there.
So you must be the captain.
The pilot, captain, pilot, whatever.
Why, yes, I am, and who might you be?
I am the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Ah, don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman? I'll never forgive you if you do.
Or what are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. So you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I'd like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Oh. I see a good old captain has faced the wrath of Franziska's whip for the first time. Oh. What are you doing? Are you having another aneurysm?
No, see.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I know you intend to hold me. It is impossible for me to be the criminal I told you.
Mr. LeBlanc.
Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have you 1 second to waste my time to spend.
Okay, what's the deal with you?
Did you finish taking a statement yet?
Yep, hold on, sir.
I did not consider you not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back.
Actually, wait a second. Now that I'm looking at everything that is in his face. Wait. Can I see that thing that we? This cloth is kind of similar to the pattern on his hat. So, can we still present things to him? Yeah, we can still present items to him. No, not the suitcase. Would you care to explain what this is all about?
Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me?
It's a Virginia cloth.
As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose?
Yes, of course. The fabric is so famous. Orders came from overseas, sir.
Bloody cloth of data updated in my organizer. Okay.
Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier?
No. My cargo is many gigantic. You detective, when can I have my cargo moved?
You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal.
The stubbornness of you police is no good. And it is no good that attendant refused to exit the attendance room too.
That attendant, I wonder if he's talking about Mr. Nero.
Okay. What exactly is your cargo?
Do you think a single scratch might hurt you a bit?
Your art?
Art? What sort of art?
Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small.
From folk costumes to stone statues, I see all kinds of art.
Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like that other piece of cloth.
Yes, that other piece of cloth. We already established this. Thanks, Edgeworth. And I never would have noticed it if it weren't for your astute observations. Anyway,
what did you mean by that, attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
She was taken into the attendance room for her interview, and then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finishing my own interview once earlier, quicker than her.
Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time?
Oh, here's Von Karma.
Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Mr. Nero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstance.
Franziska, we already established all this yesterday. I wasn't the one who did this. Do we need to go through this again?
I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth.
Okay, here we go again. I mean, we already proved that I can't possibly have been the one to I can't possibly be in the murder. We already proved that yesterday. Do we need to do it again? I guess so.
Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here.
Nope. Wrong. That's already you're just wrong. You're just wrong. We have evidence to prove that no, the scene of the crime was not in the lounge.
From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest subject.
Yeah, except that the crime scene wasn't here, Franziska.
The likeliest suspect, Franziska? Do you have a problem with it?
Yes. Who would answer no to that? No, but it's not like you do. What? Yeah, Edgeworth, you know you're not the one who did this. No, but it's not like you'd use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute.
I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend?
Well, it is a bit odd coming from you. Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary. But I will prove my innocence soon enough. Again, if I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break your line of logic fast. Yeah, well, that can't be too difficult, because okay, so let's figure out what piece of evidence, because we have a lot. So what should we? Let's get this. Scene the crime was here. The very lounge. The body was discovered. I say no. So what can we? We could. There's so many things we could show. We could show with a statue, because it was discovered in the elevator, but it came from the shop, which we have footprints to prove that it went to the shop, in which we have this. Actually, we should probably show this, because this is, you know, what was used to move the body to the elevator. So we'll show her this. I'm sure any of that would have worked, but we'll go with the most definitive one. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all.
And what does that mean?
I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves what body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Now who's the one who rashly jumped to conclusions? Excuse me. All you do is find a piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth.
Yeah, but don't we have the evidence that shows tracks going to the thing? I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily.
You should know better than that. Von Karma is perfect in every way.
Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely weirded the suitcase all around at some point?
As if there was proof.
Yeah, there is. What is the proof that this suitcase was moved around? We have the proof right here. Let me just check. Yeah, we have the footprints walking away from the. Ow! Actually, even better than that, we have the line. Hold it. Wait. We have the lines in the photo, as if there were two wheel marks moving in a line.
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator.
Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where is the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here? That would be these lines right over here. This mark here, wouldn't you say that looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels?
I suppose.
Further, there was also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here.
I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else.
I'm glad you've come to your senses. Well, you still got more?
Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot.
Oh, I can't wait to find out why. Alright, round two. Well, it's technically round 3 or whatever, because we already ran through all this yesterday with the flight attendant.
You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence.
What? No. Wait a minute. No, that's just impossible. Because this little statue right here was taken out of the display case after the turbulence. The turbulence is what caused it to fly through the freaking glass case. Try again. This is Von Karma. Come on, you gotta try a little harder than that. You gotta try a little harder than that.
And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body.
Nope. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly.
Just what are you insinuating?
That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in our logic in one fell swoop. With pleasure. This is like baby easy. Okay, hold on. You prepare yourself and acquire the piggy bank. Nope. Wrong. By the way, I'm not calling it a piggy bank. That's a statue. That's it may be a piggy bank, but it does not look like one. The fact you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared.
Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master.
But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This is Mr. iFly Piggy Bank is just such a fake. It is not for your murder weapon.
What?
The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred.
But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that?
I assume it was added after the murder was when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then, the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Acme Hicks.
You there.
Yes, ma'am.
Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found?
We didn't find anything in the lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood.
I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end.
But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. I like how the weapon isn't anywhere near him and he still shrinks back in fear.
If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth.
Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence, which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or was still at the real crime scene.
There is one more possibility,
And that would be,
that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon.
but didn't we just...
Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning.
Reasonable line of reasoning.
Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case.
Franziska, the person you're talking about.
Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her.
Yes.
Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other?
I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish.
Mr. Nero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move.
Okay, to the flight attendant's room you go. I said to the flight attendant's room we go. There we go. I had to, like, wedge my way between everybody to get there. Hello, Miss Naro. Let's see. What would you like? Do you have anything to say for yourself?
So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that?
Mr. Nero.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too.
Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did?
Alright.
Oh, I'm supposed to move. Okay. Let's have a chat. Captain's permission, since it's the only thing we can. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that?
Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission.
What do you mean?
The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends.
In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges.
Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Nero, is it? There was one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly.
Yes, I was.
And why were you there? Well,
Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. Okay.
All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for the work then?
Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there. Well, I mean, you designed the suitcase, right? So, it might be a stretch, but does it stand to reason that maybe she went there to see how they were selling? Maybe?
After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct?
Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Mr. Nero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. Yeah, it's a stretch, definitely, but it's about all I got right now. Yeah, it was designed by Miss Rhoda to Nero. It's... Only thing I think is that it's like, hey, I wonder how my cool suitcase design is selling. Which, spoiler alert, not that great. If you could please take a look at this for me, Mr. Nero.
Oh, that suitcase.
It's about the suitcase. You are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it?
There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about the suitcase? Yes, well, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling.
Yep, that's about what I thought.
I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know, and I was glad to see that it was the last one there.
The last one there? There were two there when we were investigating. There were definitely two suitcases there we were investigating. You want to tell me more about the last suitcase you saw there?
So you're saying, Mr. Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one.
Nope. I didn't say anything about buying it.
Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee you it personally as service professional.
Well, that is... How should I put this? It's... Edgeworth. Just no filter whatsoever. Maybe that was a bit too direct. You don't say. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design. It's the number of them remaining.
Remaining?
There were two suitcases in the inflight shop when I investigated it.
Two? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only one. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only one suitcase left.
Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Mr. Nero, what is one of those suitcases doing here?
That's...
I thought you said there was only one left.
That one is... it's mine. I've used it for a very long time.
Okay. I can... Alright, so she's using the suitcase that she designed. Okay. Wait, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. How exactly do you define a long time? Because, if it's longer than a day or two, why in the world do you still have the price tag attached to it? No. Mr. Nero, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me.
Excuse me?
I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Mr. Nero says? The fact that she hasn't taken the damn price tag off yet. Tell me, Mr. Nero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase?
Ah! What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase?
Despite having faith in the design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Oh, she buys them? So she's sub-buying her suitcases? Like she's... Okay. That's nice. It's like... She's buying her own suitcases to make it seem like they're selling well so that hopefully other people will buy them. Oh boy. Mr. Nero, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, the suitcase was originally in... It was in the in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on the suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought the suitcase was you. It was you, wasn't it, Mr. Nero? I hate to say this, but the suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right?
Then, the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry, all I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something.
But the suitcases didn't sell.
It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous.
I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them, either. We were... It is really dumb selling suitcases on the flight. Why? Who would buy that? Why would you buy an extra suitcase on the flight? Why would you do that?
We weren't selling a single one, and we're just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out, so I decided to buy one for every flight
Every single flight? How many suitcases do you have? Okay, that... Oh. You buy one every single time you walk on a flight.
I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well.
Yes, and here is my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m. Suitcase receipt data jotted on my organizer.
The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight.
Mr. Nero, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold.
Then the suitcase the killer used
could very well have come from the cargo hold.
Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think the killer used one of my suitcases to...
Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body.
How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be.
Mr. Nero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator?
The only other way is just through that door there.
And what about the security?
That door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to.
Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, okay? Eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects.
So it's either Rhoda Tenero or Cammy Mill. So... or Cammy Meal, whatever.
I can't believe it.
Yes, Franziska?
Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name.
And what do you mean by that?
The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story.
Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used the keycard.
Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct?
Yes, that's the only realistic possibility.
That other attendant, Miss Meal, I asked her earlier and she had this to say.
Franziska got information out of Miss Meal.
In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required.
A different one?
Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tenero.
What? Is this true, Mr. Nero?
Yes, I keep that keycard in my locker at all times.
Could you please show us that card right now?
Yes, hold on. I don't believe it!
What's wrong?
The keycard, it's gone.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Ha ha ha. Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through. Wait, it's not like that. You can tell us all about it, what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like I just give the officers new voices every time. Even if they're in the same scene, I just give them a new voice the next time I see them.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Okay, well, nothing's ever that easy. If this game were that easy, no one would play it, so... obviously, there's something else going on here.
What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face.
Franziska, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case, however...
Hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth?
I intend to do likewise. Okay, that was significantly shorter than the last episode. About half the length, in fact. Alright, well. So that part wasn't excellent, mainly because most of it was spent re-proving our innocence when we already did that yesterday. So, not as good as the last one, but the end part where we confronted Miss Tenero, that was good. So now we have interesting situations. So you need a separate key card to get to the cargo hold that Miss Tenero had, but that's gone. So someone else obviously used it.
I'd be willing to bet it's Miss Cammy Meal. So
I mean, but again, as per the usual, they never try to hide who does it, but they always try to hide how it was done. So that's the appeal. The appeal isn't finding out who did it. The appeal is finding out how we did it. And I'm guessing that we're gonna start to get more of those answers in the next episode. So we'll see how this goes. I don't really have a guess as to now because we don't have enough information as to go on. But I guess we'll find out in due time. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all on Tuesday for some more Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth. Goodbye.